Ordinarily, I have to be by myself, and it takes me a while to get into the mood. I'll normally make some coffee or get some sort of caffeine in me just as a stimulation, and then I'll just read through random things just to pick up on other authors' styles, get the blood flowing, so to say. And then it could be completely unrelated to whatever I'm trying to write, but just to practice and see how the professionals do it. Because I think there's a lot to be learned from creative reading as well as creative writing. And once I've got the juices flowing, that was a phrase that my dad would always ask me. Because I would come home and sit to work and start writing. He'd be like, "Well, are the juices flowing?" I'd be there in my room and I'd be like, "Well, yeah, they are. I'll let you know how it goes." I'd say that my dad is a big influence. That when I was in 7th grade, about 12, 13, my mom and dad were divorced, and I spent much of my time with my father. And he was not one of those parents who demanded that I follow in his footsteps and become a fireman like him. He was very, very free, very open to interpretation.
Brian Wise Carver went over the hill to buy an axe, a cheap one with a rough wooden handle and an ugly head. But before he made it to the top, he passed a spot where a man's life would change forever.
And so I wrote originally, for him and for my neighbors and friends, because they would gather around, and we'd have little informal sessions with with tea and cookies and that kind of thing. And I would sit down on my little chair and I'd read from my book and recite to them. It's at its best when the reader can't wait to find out what happens next. That even if they've got limited time, it's like, I'm going to skip class so I can finish this book. Just keep turning those pages, just engage in what's happening to the character. And at the very end of the story, I want them to have that aha moment where they can just set it down, be like, wow, that was amazing, and come away feeling like they just got a shot of adrenaline and feel so much better about themselves and uplifted. We don't need art or literature to make us feel sad. We can do that by ourselves anytime we want. I believe that the Lord has given us all, very unique abilities, and if it wasn't for Him, not only would we not have the abilities, but we wouldn't be here to begin with. So if I can glorify Him and give Him the credit where it's due through my work, and even if people, don't accept the Lord and just, hit a lick for what's right, and stand up against what's wrong, that people can come away from my work more educated and just feeling good about themselves. And that might not be a very high literary aim, but that's enough for me.